I'm also going to be uploading 2 of the 3 world title fights this Wednesday night in Japan. So we had a great past weekend in boxing. We had another successful weekend. So to give you guys kind of the intro on this live stream, as you guys are checking in, I'll let you know what to expect. So yeah, first and foremost, if you haven't subscribed, do that as you're checking in. If you're catching this live or if you're seeing this on the playlist section, make sure you like this video. Also, in the comment section right now, pinned is how to join our Discord. Johnny says Boxing Insiders. So we started that a few weeks ago, and this is where you're going to get all the parlays, all the picks, all the props. Guys, everybody won this past week. Of the picks, I missed one, and it was a draw, but that was Friday night in Indio with Gucci Flores versus Jorge Chavez, and it was a draw. I'm not mad at the draw. I actually had Jorge winning round 1, Flores winning round 2, Jorge winning round 3. I had a 2-2 going to the 5th. I also had Flores winning the last 2 rounds. I'm not mad at the draw. People thought that that was a robbery, thinking Chavez should have been given the win, but I don't know. I'm not too mad at it. I know in America, your draws, if you guys have a draw, it doesn't bust, but here in Australia, our draw busted. But anyway, moving forward, we hit on everything else. One of my biggest picks was Shushu Carrington by decision. I got him at plus 600. That was one of the locks I gave you. And then we all hit a long parlay. We hit on Ryan Gardner. We got great value on Ryan Gardner. We took Polanco to win by decision. We took Carlos Santana to win by decision on the same parlay. We hit huge on that. So all in all, wherever you are in the world, I know you guys have been sending me your emails. You've been tagging me in your DMs. And then I've been sharing them on Instagram and putting them in the Discord. So as you're tuning in, let me know how you did this weekend. Take care of, I like what Gary says, tip your bartender. If you guys listen to me, if you guys are winning. And another couple guys on the channel, some insiders hit massively. There's some pro bettors, some guys who gamble professionally on boxing on the channel. They followed the channel. So guys, they're in the Discord. I think that is a huge sort of reason for you guys to join. It's only a couple of bucks a month. Big shadows in the house. As you guys see people checking in, and they have the blue star. Those are insiders. They get, as soon as you join on YouTube. It's a couple bucks a month, and you get access to the Discord. DJ Shushu. Yeah, it was crazy that Carrington was a plus 600. I mean, we always look genius afterwards, right? It's always afterwards. We're like, dude, I told you, I'm an expert. I told you. Why didn't anybody else pick Carrington at plus 600? You know what I mean? But I did. That's what I saw. You know, my thing with Carrington is that, what's up, GOAT? Is that Carrington actually, I've been up, I wake up early, so I've already done a mobility session. And during the mobility session this morning, it's almost a mix of yin yoga. So there's some stretches that I hold for 2 minutes each. It's a 45-minute session I do. So there's moments where I'm just holding stretches and I'm thinking. And in my stretching this morning, I was thinking, is there a direct correlation with being a defensive sound fighter and having a high fight IQ? And I was thinking about what Shakur does really well. I was thinking about what Pernell Whitaker did really well. I was thinking what Floyd did really well. And all 3 of those examples are guys who never took unwanted risks, unnecessary risks. They used their skill set. They used their athletic ability to win fights, to negate their opponent's game plan. And I'm like, there's a direct correlation with being defensively minded if you're skilled enough to with a high fight IQ. And I see that in Carrington. Sometimes in Shushu's fights, when he hurts his opponents, he's not the type of guy to really pour it on his opponents. I mean, go back to the Dana Coolwell fight. That fight went to the cards. He dropped Dana multiple times. So you saw it in the last fight. And going into all Carrington's fights, I always think about that. So the first thing I look at with Shushu, because the money line is never good. He's always, as of late in this part of his career, going to be a huge favorite. I'd love to see him in some 50-50 fights. So rather than looking at the money line odds, I instantly think about Carrington, and I look at the decision odds. And this is why this was my reasoning on why I went about it that way. But guys, we're 5 minutes in. Everybody's checking in. Let me know how you did. We have a busy week. We can't, I never like harping too long on our victories. I never like harping too long on our losses. But in less than 72 hours, we have 3 world title fights in Japan. I already have the odds up. I already have videos I'm going to be editing. So you don't know where to go with Carrington after this. Well, I mean, he fights for a world title at 126. I mean, he's calling out Rafa, and initially I hated the call out. Initially I was thinking, man, he's calling out Espinoza. Espinoza's a monster. And the more I was thinking about it, I mean, I think that fight would be way more competitive than people think. I mean, he's already almost 30 years old. If he's not ready for Rafa now, when's he going to be ready? Isn't Shushu 28, 29 years old? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already, and at that weight class, 126 pounds, it's now or never. You know, 28, 29 years old, if he's not ready now, he's not going to be ready. So I think you put him in there now. You have to, and he knows that. You have to put him against. Yeah, I think he beats Ball. I would love to see him against Angelo Leo as well. Scooter, yeah, Scooter's. I mean, it's wild to. You know, Scooter's last victory over Figueroa, and then before that, his loss. People kind of wrote Fulton off. And Rafa's 31 years old. You know, what do you do? How long could Rafa? I mean, he's at 31, 6'1", fighting at 126. I guess he's figured out the weight class. You know what I mean? So it's not like you could age him out and hopefully he moves up to 30. But Espinoza just got the belt a couple fights ago. You know, when he went into he fought Robesi the first time as the dog, and then obviously the second Robesi fight he made him. You know, he stopped him. And then we saw Rafa against Vasquez, where he just looked amazing. So, yeah, there's some good fights at 26. 26 is a fun division, a fun little division. Yeah, Robesi's a dog. I don't know. Somebody said on the live stream last week that they thought that Robesi was retired. We haven't seen him. We haven't seen him in a while. And I don't know if he has any fight news. So, yeah. Guys, make sure you're liking this video. We're up to 25 people with 5 likes. So it takes one thumb. However you support the channel, whether you're an insider, whether you join our group, whether you subscribe, or whether you're just able to like this video, do that for me. So Tacoma, so we'll get to Japan in a second. People are still talking about Robesi. Yeah, and then we got this weekend, you got Duarte and Kenneth Sims as well, which is a very interesting fight. And, you know, it's not quite a 50-50, but on paper, I think it's a 50-50. I don't think, I think the bettors and the gamblers going into this weekend, I think they would be ill-advised to write off Kenneth Sims Jr. I know the sexier pick is Duarte, what he's looked like in his career so far. Yeah, Big Shadow. I picked one dog. I picked RDR to beat Rob in a really close fight, and then I definitely missed on McGee. Yeah, Peter Yan just looked great. Peter Yan beat McGee everywhere. But those were long odds. I mean, it was 9-1. So whenever I only give you the upsets because you guys asked for them. If anybody had a 100% upset or even 90% upset streak, that'd be insane. How was your break yesterday? My break, Pedro. Oh, my weekend. We did a little staycation here in Sydney. Had a little party. It was fun. Thank you for asking. Leo said he's not fighting anyone without a belt. That should be the case, History Vault. Leo, we last saw Leo in Japan on Pro Box. And they've I like how Pro Box does their thing. They have a nice little promotional team. You know, they do their due diligence with their research. You know, Algieri's great. Malinagi's great. Polanco, oh, you took Bellotti. See, this is Johnny Says Boxing Insiders group. We took Gardner. Gary's group took Bellotti. Yeah, I told you guys. Gardner, everything we saw in the film study and the breakdown, it's exactly what happened. The younger fighter, the sharper fighter, the fresher legs, he just fighting at home. He had that energy about him. And it's one of those things that you could definitely find common sort of factors with the UK fights. It's, you know, if the fight is, where's the fight at? Is it in the fighter's hometown? Where's their career trending? Is he trending this way? Is he trending this way? Has this guy been a world level guy before? Has this guy not gotten there before and he wants to get there? So all these things matter. And we, you know, the last time this happened, 3D, Gary and the boys went against, you guys picked Lee McGregor and I picked Nathaniel Collins for the same exact reasons. So I'm on a roll a bit in the UK. The last UK one I was really off on was, goddamn it, Justice Hooney. But we were looking good until we weren't. History ball. It's always easy to call once we get them right. That once that next day passes, we're out here eating. It's always easy to call. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I like healthy competitiveness too. I mean, if you guys are anything like me, since I can remember, like I've always taken competition in full stride. So I don't compete with anybody. I only compete with myself. But if it's healthy, everybody can learn from competition. Yeah, he's in the IBF. And right now, I don't know what book you guys are playing on, but Duarte's $1.65. 100 on Duarte gets you your money back plus 65. Kenneth Sims, $2.40. So 100 on him gets you your money back plus 140. So nice little return of investment, not quite, 2 to 1. But there's so much value on Sims right now. You got to think the closer we get to the weekend, those odds are probably going to get closer. Yeah, so GOAT, if I was in America, my first one, I'd be 25 out of my last 25 on my long parlay. But because I'm in Australia and the draw loses, I'm only 12 for 12. Yeah. Oh, Jazz, there's so much to talk. Jazz, it's something that I didn't really sit with too long. And I used to do video breakdowns after the fights, but because the channel has evolved in such a way, I just don't have time to do analysis, breakdown, and predictions before the fights, all the live streams, and then breakdown and analysis of an edited video after. But it's something that wasn't getting spoken about was Hooney's, that exact point. Hooney's reasons to engage. Why would you give him that advice? You're 4.5 minutes away from one more step closer to achieving your lifelong goal, and you decide to stand and trade with a guy who's down on the cards almost every round and only has one route, one path of victory to beat you, and you get on that road and you're driving with him on that road to give him an opportunity to do that. It was insane. It's mate, man, it's not making Aussie boxing look that good because you mix that in with a lot of the negative stuff going for years about Tim Tszю's camp, and it's like the boxing minds in Australia kind of are taking a hit lately. Tomas hit that 15 leg parlay, good hit. And if you guys listen to me in any way, if you guys are getting any value from the channel, definitely support the cause. Help me out. They probably had to win 9 rounds, especially being a queen. Mate, they were up we watched that fight. Justice was up huge. Justice, he gets up and doesn't get counted out. He still wins that fight. 10-8 round with 1 round left, he still wins that fight. He could knock out. I don't know why people are saying this. He could knock out easy money. You think he's going to knock out Champ getting the best from him sparring for this? He could knock out easy money. You're saying Higa's going to knock out Antonio Vargas? Boxing man. Thank you, boxing fan. Appreciate you, brother. I shared the ticket too on Insta. You're a beast, mate. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. So boys, as you guys are looking at Wednesday, I posted yesterday on our channel the odds of Higa versus Antonio Vargas, and everybody thinks I definitely disagree. You think Higa's gonna knock out Antonio Vargas? I don't know, mate. We'll see. I'm uploading my prediction today. You'll see who I'm going with. But what was Roy Jones Jr.? Roy had that song. Y'all must have forgot. These refugees be cheating. These referees. I like what that reads though. Yeah, PJ. So for you folks who went method of victory on Gardner, I just went money line. I'd be pissed. What's up, Lloyd? I got mate, long shot, upset, or mini Pacquiao. Mini Pac-Man. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Higa. Daiga Higa. It is Pedro. Guys, if you're unaware, we got two separate chats going on right now. We got Wednesday night's card right in front of us in Japan, 3 world title fights. But then we also have the news that I broke on the channel last night. Francisco Rodriguez versus Galal Yafai. That decision is overturned. And Rodriguez is getting a rematch. But it's like, all right, sports book, can I get my money back? Because that was a huge bet. That was the only loss that I had that whole weekend. Yeah, Tomas, I don't like Higa. Higa's a huge favorite. I love Vargas as a dog. But so are Mexican. So whatever you just said, Jazz, these Japanese fighters are tough as F in shape. So are the Mexican fighters. I mean, think about how much money we've won over the last few Japanese cards with the Mexicans going to Japan. We've seen it multiple times. Angela Leo, we hit huge on him. Sugar Nunez, we hit huge on him. I mean, obviously Brian Norman Jr. is not Mexican, but North American fighter, we hit huge on him. Dude, Antonio Vargas at plus 360. You guys are wild. I'm doing my film study. People are calling Vargas chinny. 1 loss. He got dropped a couple fights ago. I just think his upside is. Maybe I'm seeing something. Maybe I don't know what it is because I brought up Antonio Vargas 2 months ago on my channel when I was breaking down Nonito Donaire versus Campos, and I said Donaire, if Donaire gets past Campos, he might get that Vargas fight, and Vargas could crack. Yeah, so right now Vargas is plus 360. Takami and Kenshiro. Yeah, Kenshiro. Yeah, I think that's going to be my move. So if you take Takami on the money line, let's do this real quick. Takami on the money line, Vargas on the money line, Taraji on the money line, 4-1. Biggest thing to look forward to is August 16th. You're crazy, Heaven Sent. You crazy, Heaven Sent. The biggest thing to look forward is Wednesday night in Japan. I can't wait for the Antonio Vargas versus Higa fight. I've been waiting for that fight for like a month. Hamza versus DDP. It's really tough to pick against either one of those guys. But we'll save UFC and MMA for later in the chat. A 105er been getting the best of Vargas in sparring. I don't care about that, actually. I don't care about sparring stories. Vargas could win, yes, there's just due to his chin. Due to his chin. You guys are insane. Due to his chin. All right, if there's an Andrew Maloney fight, what does that tell us, boys? An Andrew Maloney fight tells us that's an Aussie card. You know we eat during Aussie cards. Goat. That's a good thing for us. See? It's those ups. Give me an Aussie card and a Japanese card all week. Socks, mate. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking care of the channel. Good weekend win insane on the overs. Socks, I saw your pick in the Discord, mate. Yeah, so Socks put his parlay up in the Discord. Guys, the Discord's popping, man. I was on a little, it was my girlfriend's birthday. And we've been together 8 years, like the love of my life. And, without getting too sappy, I brought her up once before on the live stream. I never thought that I could like be in a relationship where like she's like my best friend on like a chill level. Super funny, super intelligent, super successful. Like before we even met, like super independent, owns her own, like she's an animal in the best possible way. So we were gone in Sydney spending the weekend with, had a great time. And I was watching the Discord go off all weekend. And dude, there's some wizards in that Discord. Like, and educated conversation. So I got to give kudos to the chat because you guys are the ones that made me start the Discord a few weeks back. And now we got the insider group on YouTube with the blue stars. As soon as you join the insider group, you get access to the Discord. And it's been awesome watching it grow. It's only been around a few weeks. Higa is a dog. So yeah, I saw Socks. He put up his parlay there, and yeah, the overs were popping. You had Zorro on points. I thought he should have won that Garner card. Got Robin Chavez, pissed me off. Yeah, Higa is good. Okay, Kiza. So you guys are taking Higa. You like those odds. PJ, I'm taking... Yeah, boxing fan, for sure. It's life is better when there's... I think the secret to life is compatibility. Whatever compatibility is in your personal life, that's what my advice to you would be, is to strive for compatibility, because that's everything. Once you find compatibility, there's nothing else that sort of gets forced. But anyway, boxing fan, 100%. PJ, the parlay I like for Japan, I'm going with the underdog Vargas and then the two favorites. It's a 4-1 right now. So I'm taking Kenshiro money line, Yasuki money line, Antonio Vargas money line, and that's where we're going to be. And this is why betting, calling fights. There's my man David. What's up, Icer? Appreciate you. I took all my man again. Good. I don't want to rob off negative though. It never used to be a big part of the channel, Dave. It's only boxing. Boxing is the #1 part of the channel. Randvar, what's up, buddy? Takami Taraji, I don't mind it. Appreciate you, Tomas. Dude, these Japanese fights are awesome. And to put a bookend on GOAT, what I was talking about with GOAT is that he said, look, moving into August, there's not a lot of big cards except that Andrew Maloney card the following week. We're going to eat off of that card. We're going to eat off that card, dude. Australian cards, Japanese cards on my channel over the last few months. That's where we're making all of our money. So give me time today. I'm uploading 2 of the 3. There's 3 world title fights this Wednesday in Japan. I'm featuring all 3 on the channel. I'll get 2 uploaded tomorrow today. I'll get 1 uploaded tomorrow, and then I'm going to get to the Duarte versus Kenneth Sims fight card during the weekend. I'm doing another live stream today. 2 live streams every day, guys. Stats Don't Lie videos every day. Those are the most time-consuming ones. Those are the edited ones. And then I'm going to be live streaming the fights as well Wednesday night. Yeah, in Randvar, if you don't catch the lives, they get uploaded on the channel as well. So I appreciate all the support. You think Kenshiro you think he's a risk, but he should pull it off? History, what don't you like about Kenshiro? See, this is why this is a healthy chat. Because sometimes you guys bring up things that I might not see. I might get big-eyed in terms of sort of recency bias. What is it about Kenshiro that kind of gives you hesitation, History? And because you guys have already, selling me on why you like Higa. There's a lot of Higa fans out there. There's a lot to like about Higa. His style, the energy he brings. Okay, Kenshiro loves a good scrap. Maybe there's an over-under knockdown prop then, boys. See, this is another way. You guys don't have to pick winners, right? For my channel, I have to pick a winner or loser on the fight prediction side of things. But that doesn't necessarily mean where I'm going to put my money. Because if that's the case, we know what Japan brings. Japan brings what? Knockouts and knockdowns. So I think where our money... The biggest value in our money this Wednesday night is probably going to be knockdown prop bets. Will the fight go the distance? Method of victories. I think Kenshiro's great. I like Kenshiro. Yeah, people are high. I'm not high on Higa to beat. I'm hi- I'm high on Antonio Vargas, man. I think Antonio Vargas is a really good fighter. Yeah, Tomas, I I that was my biggest win was Carrington by decision. I mean, 100 to win, 500. I got him at plus 600. Yeah, so to go the distance would be the best odds. Two sides to every coin, isn't it? And they're small. You know, these guys are all 120, 122 and smaller. Damn, if you guys are new to boxing, if you're just getting into boxing, and these Japanese cards are always electric. These are some, dude, I wish there was Japanese world title cards every week. Yeah, Eister. So David Eister brought up a good point. What we learned yesterday, and what, 26 minutes in, no one brought up Xander Zayas yet. No one brought up Xander or Chino. What we learned yesterday, maybe we learned more about Charles Conwell than we did about Xander. Because, yeah, I mean, but then again, guys, some fighters have down performances. I was really high on Conwell going into the Chino fight. He didn't fight well. And then you mix that with how Chino fought against Xander, but I don't like doing boxing maths. You know, I missed Conwell on the Chino fight, but I got Xander right. And I think Xander, I really want to see Conwell fight again. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what he looks like. Hopefully they don't shelf him. They've shelved him thus far. We want to see him again. But I do want to see him again, man. I don't like throwing away I don't like throwing away any fighters. I'm not that type of guy. My personality. I'm not just gonna throw away a guy because of a loss. Yeah, Ranver. We won a lot of money on Xander. I mean, I only started the week last week to pick your brains on him. So just because I challenge or question a potential outcome doesn't mean, you know, you always have to wait for my prediction and videos. So yeah, we won a lot of money on Xander. He's only 22 years old, mate. Xander is, yeah, he's growing. He's growing right in front of us. 22 years old. I think he answered some good questions last night. It was a tough opponent, tough out. Chino, man, Xander is going to take away those from those 12 rounds. He's going to take with him the rest of his career, you know, lessons. Yasuki, what's up, Yasuki? The YouTube will do the currency for you because we have an international audience. I'm in Australia. Half the boys are from America. We have a lot of Filipino fans. The UK is in the house for sure. So yeah, the YouTube currency, just you support the channel in your currency and YouTube will do it for you. Yeah, Xander looked good, boys. Xander, and when you, like I was talking about, boxing boxing fans are hopeless romantics. We love a storyline. We love a strong person, like a character. And when you mix what Xander looks like, what he fights like, how old he is, or how young he is, and then you mix how he's sort of how he talks, if you listen to him post fight, his messaging, what's there not to like about Xander Zayas? You know what I mean? Like he really ticks all the boxes. Lives in the gym. Yeah, I want to remind everybody a point that David made. If you guys are not having fun and you're not entertained by betting on boxing or gambling, don't gamble. This this is a boxing first channel that's turned into a boxing community that turned into we bet on boxing, okay? So if you're not if it's affecting your if it's affecting your mood, your mind, your personality, your relationships, don't gamble. I put in all of my breakdown videos, the hotline for it too. So I know some people struggle with it. If you're not having fun doing anything, don't do it. So it's going to be 7 p.m. Wednesday night here in Australia. To put things in perspective, it's 7 a.m. now, Monday morning here. Yeah, Kenshiro, Ricardo Sandoval. Yeah, I have Ricardo as almost a 4-1 dog for the world title. Sandoval's 26-2, 18 knockouts. El Nino, 5'6" Orthodox fighter, number 6 in the world. No, Ricardo Sandoval could crack, man. See, the thing about Sandoval versus Taraji, though, you gotta... Rando Light joining the club, my man. Appreciate you. So, Rando, you got access to the Discord. So go, you'll go to our community post section, and you'll get access to the Discord, Rando. I appreciate it. The dark side. Welcome to the light side. Come on now, boys. You guys are insane. Rando's been on here for a while. Who brought up the point about Kenshiro versus Ricardo Sandoval could crack? It is the green side. I like that, DJ. His resume is insane. I'm doing Underdog Watch on Wednesdays. I like it, mate. Remember when Swindle said Flores won and DAZN gave us a late stream? Anyone? I don't know. Remember, Goat? Swindle just joined the Discord too. Let's pull Swindle up. Goat, way to bring the receipts. We gotta pull Swindle up in the Discord, Goat, because he has the same name. Yeah, was that bad info he was giving us? I think he just thought that the little brother was the older brother. Ranvar Litter brings up a very valid point there. We got a fun card, boys. So is anybody taking Sandoval to win? Who's taking Sandoval? Yeah, these aren't gimmies. I like the fight against Ellis Coaga. I mean, he's beat Ellis Coaga, who's a stud. Rosales. I'm talking about Kenshiro Taraji. But the thing is, Taraji's 5'4", Sandoval's 5'7", I think. Isn't it crazy? Taraji's 33 too. Sandoval's 26, right? Taraji's 33. Sandoval's the younger dude. I don't know, man. It might be a little sprinkle time on the dog there with Sandoval. I might go Sandoval and Vargas just to cause controversy. We'll see what happens. Yeah, socks. See, now we're thinking 7.4. Dude, it might just be one of those, just let the dogs bark. You know what I mean? Like, who let the dogs out? Because, dude, Sandoval, look at his knockout to win ratio. He could crack. 26. I don't like that Kenshiro's 33 years old either. And he's 3 inches shorter. Mate, I don't know, dude. I'm starting to really like Sandoval here. How big? So we got Sandoval. So Sandoval is almost. Okay, if you take Vargas and Sandoval on the same ticket, 17-1. DJ, it's worth a research. I'm gonna be uploading my film study. Money Meech in the house. Why were we so quick to write off Sandoval? It's kind of like, boys, you remember how we started last week, our live stream? We started with the same conversation about Chino because I wanted to pick your brains. This is what I do. If you guys were unaware, each week we have to pose. This is like we're holding court. You know, we're lawyers. You have the prosecuting, you have the defense, and we have to play. We have to hear both sides. So we're also playing the judge, right? So we have to play both sides. We did it last week in our breakdown of Chino and Xander. We played the one side. How does Chino win? And how does Xander win? Then we eventually all came to an agreement that Xander was going to win. But Sandoval versus Taraji is very interesting. Vargas versus Higa is very interesting. I've been to Japan, Money Beach. I've been to Japan twice, but I was a young, stupid 20-something in the late 2000s. I used to date a girl who was a hair model when I was living in LA, and they flew us to Japan twice. Has Sandoval fought anyone close to the level of Taraji? Santiago, my boy. What's up, brother? Appreciate you taking care of the channel. Oscar always thinks his boys can win. Man, people forget about Oscar. Oscar's a beast, dude. I don't judge Oscar for wearing fishnets. Oscar is one of the best boxers I've ever seen in his prime. Oscar De La Hoya. His boxing mind, he knows boxing. Yeah, he is fringe. That's a good way of putting it, Meech. But Meech, how much have you seen Sandoval? El Nino. Here's the pushback on Taraji versus Sandoval. Taraji's going to be almost 3 inches shorter than Sandoval. Taraji's 33 years old, which is old in that division. Sandoval's 26. He's the taller guy. He could crack. I'm an Oscar guy. It's like, I think people, and I like how Oscar doesn't take himself too serious either. Talk about a live dog, dude. So to answer your question, I mean, world level experience. He lost the majority decision to Jimenez. Sanamoro, Sandoval, Buitrago, Gomez, 24-4, Henderson. Yeah, we're going to see if there's levels. Those odds are nice, Ricardo. Yes. Okay, so and we've seen Mexicans recently go to Japan and win on the cards. Sugar Nunes. Anybody talking about Eric Rosa versus Takami? Anyone giving Eric Rosa a shot? Eric Rosa, Dominican fighter. Yeah, Sugar Nunes is one of my favorite fighters. I was just bringing him up as to dispel the rumor or the narrative that the Mexican fighter can't come over, or the traveling fighter can't come to Japan and win on the cards. The one thing you must say about the Japanese scoring is it's pretty fair. Yeah, Rosa, you can't, too brave for your own good sort of thing. He only has 8 fights, 8-0, 2 knockouts, southpaw, 25 years old, mini Pac-Man. Whenever you give yourself the name Mini Pac-Man, people are going to watch you fight. So, Takami, 9-0. 12 rounder. Takami could crack. 5'5". I like Takami. I think he handles Rosa pretty well here. I'm actually I'm not overthinking it. I like Takami against Rosa. The weight class itself, it'll be these are going to be action-packed fights. It's going to be chaos. I'm not picking Rosa to beat Takami, but I'm very, 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 very close to picking I like Vargas over Higa. I'm sorry, boys. I really like Vargas over Higa, and I have to do more tape on Sandoval. Mosley better not be fighting. You have to be talking about his son. Yeah. Yeah, Crocker versus Patty. That's a fun fight coming up. Donovan. Mosley fought 2 days ago. Junior, right? Not Shane. His son fought 2 days ago, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I saw his son fight in Brisbane. He was on the undercard of Horn versus Pacquiao, and he lost. Senior fought? What the hell? Dude, this is horrible, man. This is terrible. That just bummed me out. He has so much damage. He can't even speak. He was one of my favorite fighters in the late 90s, early 2000s. Young Shane, Hall of Famer, cooking, and it sucks that his name got, obviously wasn't it Belko? Wasn't he early days Belko? Dude, I know Cotto's only 46, Ricardo, but I'm 43. Mikel Cotto has been in wars, mate. We want to see our legends preserved. Only our sport's messed up. That's what bothers me about our sport. We don't like our legends. Our living legends need to be like in a metaphorical museum to where we could come and see them and cherish them. And there should be It shouldn't be like, dude, Shane's fighting again, or like, let's get Maravilla fighting again. We want to see Cotto. Dude, Cotto has had glassy eyes for a decade. And yeah, we're not letting him step into the chat, by the way. Guys, 45 minutes in. Let's like this video. Let me know how you did this weekend. There's a lot of boxing to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating on anybody grabbing bags of money. I get what you're saying. Get Cotto. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. DJ, you see. All right. Maybe we need to have this chat then. Is Cotto coming back as an exhibition? You know what I'm saying? It's like Cotto's not coming back to try to win a world title. So if exhibition, make an unspoken agreement. We're not going to try to kill each other. The fans get to see us move around a bit. Call it an exhibition, though. Market it for that. Don't try to, lie and sort of take money out of the fans' pockets, because nobody wants to see that. And if you're coming at it from an economical standpoint, the average person, we work hard for our money is my point. And boxing is filled with a passionate fan base. And we don't want to see, it's like watching soccer at anything but the top level. It's like watching World Cup soccer, World Cup level, and then you go see like a club level game and you're like, those two aren't even the same sport. I don't get excited about hearing about Cotto and Martinez coming back. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Then put Cotto in, but on the other hand, once you get, these guys were former these are Hall of Famers. Do you know I couldn't imagine what it would be like to lose that drug. The drug of fame, the drug of the announcement, the drug of the fight camp, the drug of the fans, the drug of being called out, from the tunnel. That's a drug to where there's nothing in life that could duplicate that. the energy, the buzz, the adoration. That's what they miss. That's why they stay around too long. So it is the money, but it's also that. It's 100% also that. It's the drug of everything. It's the shine. I mean something again. I matter. So there is a self-worth thing there as well. But yeah, it's yeah, I'm not for it. I don't want to see. I definitely do not want to see Shane. I can't believe Shane fought. Yeah, they need that hit, Mr. Reed. They need that hit. I don't want to be their supplier, boys. I don't want to. I don't want to be. And this is why my beef is with Jake Paul, because all of that we already talked about, that we obviously identified, guys like Jake Paul uses all of that to then fatten his pockets. It's shameful. Shameful, for sure. Whew. Where do we go from here, boys? Where do we go from here? Tony Ferg, Ferguson's fighting Saul Poppy. Guys, Saul Poppy could actually box. I gotta be honest with you. Saul Poppy can box. Remember when, Ricardo Velez, you're talking about when he fought Vitor Belfort. It was effing horrible. It was freaking horrible. Watching Evander versus Vitor Belfort, and this was Vitor a year and a half removed from the UFC. This was still a guy, even though Vitor was, I think, in his early 40s, this was still a guy who was thinking like a predator, and you could see it, how he was treating Evander. That pissed me off. That somebody should have went to prison for that. Somebody should have went to prison for that, 100%. I'm still pissed off because I was a Vitor fan early days of the UFC, but Holyfield's in my first book. I've interviewed Evander multiple times. The Road Warrior, one of my favorite fighters. And to see the energy, that was embarrassing. Whoever put that on should have went to prison. You put a apex predator, not quite in their prime, but mentally still in their prime, like Vitor Belfort, in there with Evander, who's old. He could have. Yeah, it was awful to see. It was actually awful. Do you guys remember that Tito Ortiz versus Chuck Liddell? That was awful too. I put the Holyfield fight in the same category. No legs. These men, especially if you abuse your body, alcohol, drugs, late nights for decades, you mix that with the trauma from being a combat sports athlete. You mix both of those together, your neurology system by the time you get a certain age is shot, meaning your balance is off, all of the coordination goes. We don't want to see that. Yeah, Askren, we don't want to see that. You don't want to see Evander Holyfield getting hit in the head against, TRT Vitor. I mean, where does it end then, Brandon? Where does it end? Should Manny fight Barrios again? Manny's gonna do what he wants. I didn't watch the fight. I didn't tune into it. I didn't have time for Manny versus Barrios. Yeah, I didn't watch the fight. So who do you think would have won out of Vitor versus De La Hoya if he didn't pull out? I mean, who's the better boxer? Holyfield or De La Hoya. In a street fight, Vitor would kill De La Hoya. Vitor's a dude. Vitor comes from shoot the box. Vitor comes from that old school, Shogun Rua, Vanderlei Silva, the streets of Brazil. Vitor Belfort, dude, come on, man. This dude is an animal. The phenom. I don't know if you remember, he first came into the MMA as Vitor Gracie. His name was Vitor Gracie because at the time in Brazil, to have that last name attached to you, it was like a marketing thing. And Royce Gracie, Helio, Royce's father, made Vitor, Peter Gracie, change his name. So Vitor Belfort was Vitor Gracie. You could find old fights with him using that name. And not TRT Vitor was insane, dude. Did he split? It is a dirty sport. I was talking, one of you boys whenever you guys send me messages, I try to get to all the messages. I try to get to all the emails. I try to get all the messages on Instagram. But I get a lot. There's like a backlog. And one of you boys messaged me on Instagram this exact thing about the corruption in boxing. And this past weekend, we saw there were decisions that it looked like, wow, he didn't turn the gas on. He could have stopped the guy multiple times this weekend. And I said that in my return message. I did a voice memo and I said, when people talk about corruption in boxing, this is an element of it as well. You don't know as the fan how many agreements are going on behind the scenes of like, look, your guy's the big favorite. He's going to win this fight. But the money line odds are this. People are probably going to expect this to get stopped. Let's cruise to a decision. Like, who knows? I'm not saying that happens. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But it's hard, especially at certain levels, you could see that happening. I took Polanco on decision too. I got lucky with that one. I took Polanco and Santana on a 2-leg parlay, both by decision. It paid out huge. Did you see the Yaya win fight? Yeah, his eye was insane. Yeah, TRTV tour, it's insane. So, yep, I hit that too, man. How do you guys rate Polanco? It's a good, you guys brought Polanco up. How do you guys rate Polanco? Is Polanco world class? Is Polanco a future world champion? Because Muscles always tries to talk me into Rohan Polanco being a future world champion. I don't know if Rohan Polanco is a future world champion. What do you guys think? I just haven't seen Polanco level up. So you think he is going to get all the belts at 47? Maybe I was just getting different messaging the last year or so on Polanco. I was being sold, I think, a different fighter. He's not the guy that his fans initially sold to me in terms of fight style. Yeah, you know what? Even though we've seen Norman look great as of late, and I'm a big Brian Norman fan, we're going to learn a lot about him against Devin. You think he is a future champ? Huh. I would have... 2 fights ago, I would have agreed with you. I don't know how much he has in his gears. There you go. No gears to speak. That's exactly what I was talking. That's what my hesitation is with Polanco. I thought I was going to see it yesterday, even the fight before, but now I'm starting to think maybe he just doesn't have it. Maybe he had an off night. He's only 26. He's young. Polanco's only 26. Yeah, but Norman Jr. is leveled up though. We've seen Norman take. This is something that has to be paid attention to when you're either betting on fighters or talking about fighters or comparing fighters. Is that certain fighters will level up in their growth. Certain fighters don't, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's an athleticism thing. I don't know if it's a student of the game thing. I don't know if it's a discipline thing. Maybe it's a God-given thing, however spiritual you are. But the guy who fought Quentin Randall is not the guy who fought Sasaki. Norman Jr. right in front of us has level. You could see his levels, even defensively, because going into the Cuevas fight, defensively I had questions in terms of where his hand placement, his guard placement, sort of like he would have these sort of like mental lapses, I think, exchanging, but he fixed that. So Polanco, I haven't seen levels. I haven't seen him leveling up. And recency bias, right? We see Brian go to Japan and he did what he did what he does against Sasaki. I don't like the fact that Devin Haney goes on interviews saying that nobody knows the names that Norman is fighting. He's fighting. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've watched Jin Sasaki fight the last few years. Derek Cuevas, talk to anybody out of Philly or in the local gym scene about how hard he could punch. People knew about Cuevas, and he was supposed to be the guy with power. I know Norman Haney's selling a fight saying that Norman hasn't fought anybody wanting to get under his skin. And I was initially going to say when that fight got signed, even though it's in November, it's so far away, that Norman would do what he does against Haney. But now that some time has passed and the fight is official, Haney is a good boxer, man. You know, Devin Haney, he's a really, really world-class boxer. And we're going to see the levels if Norman has those levels. Yeah, but I mean, you're right. I wouldn't have minded another fight in between Ramirez and Norman. Like if Haney could have got if Haney would have fought like next month, what put him in August, September, October. Muscle Brown in the house. What's up, big fella? Muscle Brown. People. Yeah, people are wide-eyed at your at the big fella strategies. It's proved. I'm looking forward to Hrgovic Adelaide. Yep, fun fight. Yeah, Ramirez was cashing out, and he's been in some wars. I'm favoring Haney against Mormon. Well, that's what I was kind of talking about. And maybe he isn't the same guy, boys. Maybe Haney isn't the same guy he was before Garcia, and he didn't look like that guy against Ramirez. You know, Norman's bringing a different skill set, though. We're gonna learn a lot. It's a very intriguing matchup. We're gonna learn a lot about both guys. Yeah, that's what it's gonna come down to. If Devin's gonna try to punch with Brian. Yeah, Tyson Fury's been real loud lately on social media. Guys, we're approaching an hour. Just giving you a heads up on the schedule ahead. So I'm going live again. I do 2 live streams every day. I'm uploading the Higa versus Vargas fight today. I'm uploading Conchiro versus Sandoval today as well. And then tomorrow I'll be uploading Duarte versus Sims. And then obviously lives every single day. So stay tuned. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. You see how Money Meech has that blue star? Muscles, you got to get a blue star, mate. Come on now. I didn't even realize that. Putting you on blast. Click the link. Click the comment that's linked. That's how you join the insider group. And stay tuned, boys. This was a good weekend. We have another big week ahead. Congrats on everybody who hit. You know, very successful weekend, very successful month. The channel's growing. I mean, we're doing really well. The community we're building is growing. The Discord is growing. Yeah, Sims. People are forgetting. Don't sleep on Kenneth Sims Jr., mate. Kenneth Sims Jr. is a great boxer. Don't sleep on him. Muscles, click that link. It's pinned. You'll see.